Blessed love, royal family, give thanks for your presence with us. We glorify Kadamawe Haile Selassie the First, Honorable Priest Isaac here with you. And as the fireworks are going on all over the world, I'm just here to remind you that we are celebrating a new year as it relates to my Earth Day. Yes, a new cycle and a new beginning, that's for sure. So, family, remember that it is the 2 days astrotheological Earth Day course. I'm talking about Wednesday and Thursday, the 1st and the 2nd of January, 7 p.m. I've been telling you about this for a moment now. So by now, everyone who will be in the house should have already or prepared now to register for the course. Of course, you can just email us, Priest Isaac Institute at gmail.com. Visit the website, priestisaacinstitute.com. Definitely, the link is in the description below. And of course, as I said, everybody's gazing up in the skies tonight to see all the beautiful fireworks. But what about Jupiter coming up in the eastern sky? Definitely. What about Taurus and, of course, the Pleiades? Yes, all of that coming up in the eastern sky, even as we speak. Now, remember, previous evening, family, we were going through the whole aspect of the zodiac belt, and I was giving you a good understanding of how Revelation chapter 12 can be seen in the heavens, the movement of the sun. Really, on a very academic level, nothing spooky, no belief, no religion. It's just the ancient ones understood that the movement of the sun through the zodiac belt was literally telling you a story, several stories, to be honest. In fact, you must keep in mind, we are speaking of 88 constellations in the heavens. So there are a myriad of stories that can be told. And of course, that's why you can have books like the Bible and the Quran that has different expressions. The Bible has different stories, but I'm telling you, when you study each and every story, whether it's Samson and Delilah, whether it's Noah and the ship, yes, whether it's the Christ resurrection or the virgin birth, everything is seen in the heavens. Now, of course, the power thereof is to understand the constellations, to know and to be able to detect them in the heavens. That's one. And then, of course, the science, the mathematics, the geometry, that's another level. And I mean, in reality, this is something that takes time to study. This takes years of livication, years of dedication, as they say. We definitely see the Honorable King Emmanuel Charles Edwards, the Christ figure in the heavens. We would have highlighted that obviously in our documentary 7. And this is why understanding the whole science of the sun going through the zodiac belt from the Virgin to the Lion, from the Virgin to the Lion, from Virgo to Leo, right around the zodiac belt, you get a specific story. But I'm telling you again, family, don't just get lost in the zodiac belt. Those of you who have already enrolled for the course on Wednesday and Thursday, you will see exactly what I'm talking about. As I said, the Honorable King Emmanuel Charles Edwards, we see him in many aspects of the science as it relates to the heavens. For example, even the constellation of the herdsman, also known as Bootes, with the mighty star Arcturus. Now, do you know that the herdsman is considered to be the first constellation? The herdsman, Bootes, is considered to be the first constellation. Now, this is before even the Arabs or the Islamic world held on to preserving the constellations or preserving astronomy. So when you look at the herdsman, it's obvious that he has a turban on his head. When you look at the constellations and they have a triangle, it represents the turban that is on their head. And the herdsman is there smoking a pipe in the northern celestial quarters, the northern sky, beautifully seen, just there not too far from the constellation known as Hercules and the Northern Crown. So this is considered the first constellation, and it's seen with a turban on its head. You understand? Again, This is the ancient technique of understanding the dress code of even the constellations. This is why you have the serpent holder, Ophiuchus, with the turban on his head as well. There you have the pyramid or the triangle, the turban on his head. Now remember, Ophiuchus or the serpent holder is the 13th zodiac constellation. And this constellation, the serpent holder, stands on top of Scorpio. And this is why I continually tell the astrologers that the serpent holder, Ophiuchus, is one with Scorpio. They're in the same zone. They're in the same 30-degree slice of the pie of the 360 of the zodiac belt. So they're in the same energy field. So they don't need two different months and all of that stuff between the serpent holder and Scorpio. So those of you who are Scorpio, you're a serpent holder as well. And the serpent holder is the champion, eh? He's the one standing on the scorpion, eh? He's the one holding the serpent in his hand for Hercules, which is above him in the northern hemisphere, to come and slew off the neck of the serpent. And then at the same time, you have the Sagittarius, which is the archer. He is in the southern hemisphere. In fact, he is the most southern constellation in the zodiac belt. He has his arrow and the bow pointed at the scorpion that the serpent holder is standing on. And of course, the serpent holder is holding the serpent, and Hercules is looking to chop off its head. I would have explained this before, but I'm going to go in more academical detail on Thursday and Wednesday as it relates to this being the Trinity of the prophet, priest, and king. The serpent holder himself, the one that is standing on the serpent, the one that is holding the snake, because they're both serpent. Eh? Yeah, he's crushing the serpent and he's holding the serpent. And yet still he's holding the serpent or the snake for the constellation above him, which is Hercules, to take his sword and chop off its neck. And he's still standing on the Scorpio, the next serpent, for the archer to destroy with his arrow. And this is why the serpent holder, the constellation in the middle, is seen as a man with a turban. The triangle is on his head. He's seen as a man with a robe. This is exactly how he's styled in the ancient concept, in the ancient understanding of this theology or this philosophy. So again, not because the Arabs wear robe and turban. You know, some people feel, well, because they do that, they would have wanted to paint that in the heavens. No, they saw that in the heavens. They understood this is a tradition older than the Arabs, you know. Yeah, this is a tradition from creation. So this is why now you would notice even in the hand of the serpent holder, the tail of the serpent also gives a figure as if the serpent holder is holding a 7 staff. This is real. Now, the heavens declare the glory in some very simple ways. Eh? You can look at the moon and see Haile Selassie in the moon. I mean, it doesn't get more simpler than that. How simple can it get? I mean, no long talk. No, you don't have to open no book. We don't have to study no constellation. We don't have to follow the path of the sun. You don't even have to give me Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. You can look in the moon and see the face of Haile Selassie I. And as I said, the story is done. But again, family, we want to make sure you understand that this is a serious, serious science here when it comes to ancient astronomy, when it comes to ancient theology, which is astrotheology, and even archaeoastronomy as well. And this is just the study of life in general. And you see, it is not as if we're just taking stars and constellations to satisfy our belief. We're not into none of that. You need to comprehend that what the heavens does, the heavens is actually giving you a pattern of things to come. That is why the ancient ones could have taken the heavenly story and put it in Medunetta form under hieroglyphs. And then people start to argue, oh, Osiris is not real and Horus is not real and they never existed. Well, I'm not going to argue if they ever existed when the story was written. But the story was written from the heavens, and the heavenly story is something that must manifest. Let me repeat. The heavenly esoteric story that you see in the celestial zone is something that must manifest terrestrially. Eventually, it will crystallize. So Osiris is real. We saw him come to life in Emperor Haile Selassie the First. So it's not about Heru is real. Anpu or Anubis, no one can deny, is Marcus Messiah Garvey. So maybe Anubis with the dog head never existed. And if you want to go into a deep argument, maybe Anpu or Anubis, the real individual, which is seen symbolically with the dog head, maybe he never existed neither, but he came to life in Marcus Messiah Garvey. Family, I know I'm saying a lot, but this is why I'm inviting you to join me on Wednesday and celebrate with me my Earth Day, Thursday, both days, really. We're going to have a wonderful time, but really we're gathering for a course which is really two classes in one. It's not one night is the class and the next night is the party, It's two classes. So come prepared for class. Start the so-called new year, on an academic, educational level. And remember also afterwards, we're really opening the floor for you to ask any question on the subject, because I'm going to bring it on a real university level. So please come prepared for that. We're not lecturing as such, and all of that. We are bringing it as if we are looking for the students to understand that this is a classroom session, and come prepared to take your notes to the point that I'll tell you what to write. You should write this note and record this information here, because we really want to express that this is an ancient science. This is an ancient reality. This is not something that is just made up in this modern day time to look pretty and nice. So family, email me, priestisaacinstitute@gmail.com. And of course, you can visit the website, priestisaacinstitute.com. All the links are in the description below. Looking forward to your presence with us on the 1st and the 2nd of January. Holy Emmanuel, Selassie, Jah, Rastafari. Blessed love.